We are surviving with the grace of God and the generosity of the people in the area who love animals. We control the number of animals that we take in. We can control the sizes, the breeds, when we take them, if we take them, etc. We have had no outbreaks of parvo or kennel cough since October, when we stopped taking animals from the city. It has given us more control over the shelter, more control over the medical expenses. We did take in 2 dogs this month from animal control, 2 German Shepherds that got themselves in trouble. One of those 2 animals tested heartworm positive. That's something that we test on every animal that comes into our shelter. For those of you who aren't familiar with heartworm, it is a devastating illness. It's transmitted by mosquitoes. Animals that are left outside, not properly cared for and run, are much more likely to get parvo. It can be a fatal disease. Treatment is very expensive depending on the dog's size and severity. Usually a vet will charge you $1,500 to $2,000 to treat heartworm in an animal. This involves blood tests, x-rays, echocardiograms, and medications, along with a series of shots. We always choose to treat our animals that are heartworm positive because we want every one of them to have a chance. Our expense is not what it costs at a vet, thank God. It's about half of that, but it's still a big expense. None of the strays in Carthage are suffering because of their own actions. 100% of the animal problems can be traced to humans. I receive 12 to 20 calls each day from people wanting to get rid of pets. The excuses range from I'm moving, I'm getting a divorce, I'm having a baby. My dog doesn't like my mother's cat. I lost my job and can't afford to care for my pet. My pet had an unexpected pregnancy. I like to inform them how they can fix that. My dog is old. I don't have any time for them anymore. They'd be much better off with someone who had more time for them. Unfortunately, we can't magically make that happen. The shelter can survive without the city contract. The lost and abandoned souls running the streets without food, water, or shelter cannot. So that's why I'm here. There must be some solutions found to this problem. I would love to work together to find them and end the suffering of the innocents. I would love for the shelter to close because there are no more homeless animals. That's my biggest dream. And I just want to close with this. The greatness of a nation and its moral progress can be judged by the way its animals are treated. And that's a quote by Gandhi. Thank you.
And I have reports of standing committees, Budget Ways and Means Committee Chairperson Heckmaster.
Your Honor, Budget Ways and Means Committee is in between meetings, and our next meeting will be the second Tuesday, Monday in April, which is, I'm sorry, I had it written out,
April 14th.
misplaced it.
April 14th.
April 1st?
14th.
April 14th. Thank you, Tracy. And that's all about that.
Thank you. Committee on Insurance Audit and Claims, Chairperson Schramm.
The Insurance Audit and Claims met this evening before the meeting at 5:30. We approved claims to go forward to the city of $1,153,136.25. A couple items that I had pulled out of the 2 weeks worth of claims were the stump grinder for Parks and Rec did get purchased. It had gone through the approval process. It was $9,126. And Zanovan Engineering, this 2-week period is $37,400.52. And let's see, we had Rebecca from KPM come and talk a little bit, summarize the audit. The audit is done, and I believe all of the council members have this audit. She said that the audit went great. There was one item about how to put on expenses for the ARPA funds that we needed to correct. It's a federal document, but that was it, and it can be corrected. Other than that, she talked about how highly she thought of the staff here and people that were ready, and helped her through the audit, and it was an easy audit to do. And at this time, I'd like to make a motion to approve the KPM audit for fiscal year 2024.
I second.
Got a motion and a second to accept the audit finding or the audit results of the KPM audit. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
And the other item that we did was to, we discussed amendments to section 2160B of the city code that is in reference to hiring, or let me see, I'll get this right here. Resignation or discharge of changing the city code, and we'll go through that later when it's discussed. And our next meeting will be on April the 8th, 5:30 p.m. here in council chambers.
Thank you. Public Safety Committee Chairperson Heckmaster.
The Public Safety Committee met here in council chambers at 5:30 p.m. on March 17th. We considered Lunar New Year and all observed holiday periods when fireworks are legally discharged. There was a lengthy discussion regarding families with children and how the fireworks impact their ability to get a quality night's rest. The committee unanimously decided to allow the following firework discharges. Lunar New Year, the date which falls on the first new moon of the year, will vary year to year, but fireworks may be discharged from 5 p.m. till 12:30 a.m. June 30th to July 5th, from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. December 31st, from 5 p.m. to January 1st, ending at 12:30 a.m. The council will vote on the firework changes tonight, Council Bill 2509. Next, we heard from Todd Daughtery with Vintage Rods. Vintage Rods desires to host a car show on Saturday, May 17th from 3 to 5 p.m. They expect from 50 to 75 vintage vehicles, a nice car show. The only request of the city is to allow the vehicles to back into parking spaces. I move we authorize Vintage Rods to host a car show allowing vehicles to back into spaces on the Carthage Square Saturday, May 17th from 3 to 5 p.m.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to allow Vintage Rods to have a car show on May 17th and to allow participants to back into parking spaces on the square from 3 to 5 p.m. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Then we heard from our tourism director, Melissa Little, regarding road closures for Food Truck Friday. The committee unanimously approved road closures as follows: 7th Street from Garrison to Lyon Street, and Lyon from 7th to Chestnut from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. on the following dates: April 11th, May 9th, June 13th, July 11th, August 8th, and September 12th. I move we allow the road closures as requested by Tourism Director Melissa Little.
I second.
Got a motion and a second to close roads for Food Truck Friday from 7th Street from Garrison to Lyon, and Lyon from 7th to Chestnut on the dates of Food Truck Friday. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Next, we considered a council bill to approve a ladder truck contract, something that our Chief Martin worked very diligently to make happen. A motion to approve and move the bill to council was unanimously approved. A letter of intent has been signed. This Council Bill 2519 is under new business on tonight's agenda. The next meeting of the Public Safety Committee will be held here in council chambers at 5:30 p.m. on April 21st. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Public Services Committee, Chairman Barlow.
Mr. Mayor, we are between meetings. The next meeting got moved to this Thursday, 27th, 5:30 here in Chambers.
Thank you. And Public Works Committee, Chairman Taylor.
We are between meetings at this time, but we are having one next Tuesday, April the 1st, and that's not a fool's joke. We will be here. We have some things to discuss on projects that are ongoing at this time. A lot of it's gonna be updates and staff reports, but I think we need to keep the public up to snuff on where the sidewalk projects are going and what problems we have foreseen and fixed and that sort of thing, so that everybody's up to date on where we're at on those projects. But so that will be April the 1st at 5:30 here in council chambers. That's all, Your Honor.
Thank you. Reports to special committees and board liaisons. Ms. Schramm.
This morning, I went to the Jasper County Commissioners meeting. Steve McIntosh said he had turned in Form 205, the annual settlement statement of the activity of the fiscal year, and numbers were up, and he wanted to state that 70% does go to schools. Randy Kaiser, also he stated I had talked about the senior freeze in property taxes. He said so far they've gotten about 5,000 applications, so that's quite a few. And that's open until I believe the second week of May. And the elevator is supposed to be fixed today, so seniors can make it up to fill out those forms. So it's been a tough go, he said, with getting senior citizens up the stairs for the forms. Randy Kaiser spoke of Blue Cross initiative that is Blue Shield initiative that the governor supports, and it's a grant of $10 million, and we needed to show our support for that because if we had an ask, we could ask for part of that grant money. And he is also going to do a PSA on scams going around. He repeated, never give money over the phone or on a text. Right now, there's one going around for an Easy Pass that looks legit that you have not paid your tolls. So don't fall for that. And when your children call by phone or text, don't give them money either. No, that's a joke. Okay, so that's your biggest expense. Vision Carthage, today I sat in a meeting with Alan, and Mayor Snow, and Tracy Cox with Sally Stewart, Kate Kelly, and Leanne Canfield going over their contract. And I wanted to point out a few things that Vision Carthage does for our town and why we supplement them with our tax dollars. I'll try to be short on this because they do a lot. They coordinate Restoration Carthage Workday, and that's going to be in September. It goes along with repairs and general cleanup, landscaping, and preventative maintenance on Central Avenue. They hold workshops. This year they're going to be holding workshops at the Steadley Learning Center at the library. The first one of those workshops will be March...
No, April 22nd.
I thought they had one this month, April 22nd, that will cover minor repairs such as painting, planting, and such. They are requiring people that sign up for the restoration project to be included in this, to at least participate in 2 of these workshops, and they've gotten good participation and sign up already. Administer and maintain downtown art, which is coordinate with local artists to creation of murals and refreshing ghost signs. Right now they have one that Cheryl Church is working on, and it's on the Lasley building. So it's just refreshing that ghost mural. And then the Carthage in Bloom Awards is included in Carthage in Bloom to organize and maintain planting days for hanging baskets, planters within the downtown district, sidewalk mall, Memorial Hall, city parking lots, and various locations in Carthage. April 26th will be their planting day, that they will begin to plant the planters, I believe, on the median by Nell Funeral Home in the park. They also had talked to Jason about having an entrance garden there at the south entrance of town. Entrances are big for them to make it look beautiful as you enter our town. So that will be by Fire Station number 2 out by the flags. They will build a permanent structure there, a low structure, and have it planted, and there's lights already there. They're excited to get that one in place. They also host the Carthage in Bloom Awards each year. And they coordinate hometown holidays, and it oversees and installs festive elements for hometown holidays, including the light tunnel, the lighting of the mayor's Christmas tree, downtown lights, hanging baskets. She's hoping to get igloos this year, family events, and other seasonal decorations, transforming Carthage into a holiday destination. They're trying to replace the lights downtown so you get a full experience from the lights at the Vietnamese organization to Sparkle in the Park and on into downtown. And let's see, they had a couple other things that they're working on. The wayfinding signs, they're trying to update the wayfinding signs. Some of them are no longer correct and they needed to be improved. And a banner program that they're getting going with the artwork to have Route 66 banners to start with, and then they will have, what was the other one that they were doing? Not a holiday yet, but they're going to roll it out to 4 changes.
They were going to have a summer and a fall.
Right,
They were also
but-
going to have Maple Leaf and veterans.
And veterans. So they're coordinating with CWEP to get those those banners hung each time. So they really do a lot for our town, and they're going to be asking for volunteers soon to do the cleanup days and the planting days. And I think that's all I have right now.
Thank you. Anyone else? Next, move on to my report. I just wanted to take this opportunity because this will be our last council meeting before April 4th, which is Zeb Carney's last day as Public Works Director. I just wanted to take the opportunity to thank Zeb for his service to the city. He started as a fireman and then has been Public Works Director. He's done a very good job, I believe, helping the city maintain and improve our streets, our stormwater. He's been very instrumental in helping us get some state grants to do some projects around town. So I want to take this opportunity to thank Zeb for that work that he has done, and wanted to let him know that he will be missed. I did talk to Zeb earlier, and he told me he wasn't going to be able to make it to the meeting tonight, but he was going to be listening. So I told him I was going to say a few nice things, and that didn't even get him here. So just wanted to take this opportunity to thank Zeb for what he has done. Along that lines, I'm going to want to make everyone aware that I'm going to name Josiah Bayless as the interim Public Works Director, and he will take effect on April 4th on Zeb's last day, so that he will serve as the interim until we're able to have a hiring committee and hire a new Public Works Director. I have had several meetings over the last couple weeks.
You have to have the motion and second to approve it.
Yeah, I think maybe, Alan, it'd probably be wise to have a motion.
Okay.
I make a motion to accept Josiah Bayless as the interim
And I'll second.
Public
Okay.
Works Director.
I have a motion and a second to name Josiah Bayless as the interim Public Works Director. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Oppose? Motion carried. I did meet with some council members last week or week before last, and we did discuss the Humane Society contract. We should be getting the contract back to the Humane Society so that we can work on getting that contract ratified. Also did, as Ms. Schramm mentioned, met with Vision Carthage today to talk about their contract. Believe that's all I have for my report tonight. We'll have reports and remarks from council members. Mr. Taylor.
I just also want to thank Zeb for his work with the city. He will be sadly missed, but he trained them guys up down there, and I think Josiah will do a very good job in the interim. That's all I have, sir.
Thank you. Mr.
Nothing
Peterson.
for me tonight, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Mr. West.
Yes, I am going to be preaching to the choir for all of you that are here, but I think it's important to be said that in 1864 at Gettysburg, Abraham Lincoln used the phrase government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And there is no government that's more important to the people than this one sitting right here. The decisions that we make has a greater effect on your day-to-day life than anything that comes from Jefferson City or elsewhere. Open early voting began today. So please, if you know people that need help getting to a polling place or doing anything that you can do to make sure that as many people vote that can, go ahead and do that. There's no greater privilege or honor that you have as a citizen than to be able to vote. So try to make sure that we get as big a turnout as we can. Maybe on April the 9th, we might be one step closer to of the people, by the people, and for the people. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms.
Nothing
Heckman.
tonight, Your Honor.
Mr. Barlow.
I want to thank city leadership, departments who are involved, and PD for helping to improve the situation at Fairview, the challenge with into school parking for parents picking up, the attempts to view it when I have been able to note a dramatic change, and I think it'll be much safer for all involved. I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Ms. Schramp.
First of all, I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda and move Council Bill 2518 to be read prior to Council Bill 2515, which is item 7 under old business. It just makes more sense for us to approve this one first or discuss it.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second to move Council Bill 2518 up prior to Council Bill 2515. Any discussion?
No.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
I had a couple more little things here. Today, I went to United Way and visited with Kim Basinger to see if there's anything she would like me to talk about. She had some very important things. First of all, they do a program called 211help.org, or you can dial 211 on your phone. And this gives you, it's zip code specific, and it gives you links to mental health, food pantries. It'll show you when Cross Lines and Feeding Inc. are open and serving. Helps with your electric bill if you need help. It helps to streamline all of these important functions that you may need to one number. So they have had 277 referrals for Jasper County in January from the 211. It's very simple and very easy to use. She'd also wanted me to mention that they have the Day of Caring on June 13th. This is for nonprofits that need service work. Citizens and employers can citizens or employers that want their employees to go and do community service can sign up to volunteer. And this is for nonprofits such as the Y or other things that need some work done. And you can just call Kim at her office for that. She also wanted to thank the community because their yearly giving campaign that ended in February, she was blown away by the generosity of Carthaginians and wanted me to mention that. Let's see, I think that's it now. Thank you.
Thank you. Miscellaneous reports of officers of the city. Chief Hawkins.
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Chief Martin.
Just a couple things. We've had a lot of red flag days lately. I would ask that the public pay attention to our website as well, or the cities, because we identify that when there's a red flag day with low humidity and high wind, can create pretty hazardous fire situations. Also, we're working on potentially having a mass notification system in place, and we'll be doing a demo for that at the next public safety meeting for anyone who wants to attend. We do have pending severe weather this weekend, potential high winds and tornadic activity. And also, we submitted the letter of intent to purchase to the vendor, and today got to send them the paint colors, so we'll get yellow tractors.
They didn't refuse the letter?
No, they did not.
No, good, good.
And that is all.
Thank you. Ms. Almendinger.
Thank you. Just a couple of things. You've seen probably a lot of work in Central Park this week, finally getting started on the irrigation now that things have thawed out and we can move forward with that project. So we hope to have that completed either by the end of this week or early next week. So that's exciting. And then you'll also be noticing new fencing at the Fair Acres ball fields. So that those fences are about 30 years old. So again, thanks to McCune Brooks Hospital Trust to be able to execute those items with some of the deferred maintenance improvements that we've been needing to make for some time. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Cox.
Thank you, Your Honor. I just want to let everyone know that we did receive a memo today from Midwest Public Risk, who provides coverage for our property and liability. And they just were informing us that they are overhauling their underwriting and rating processes for property and liability. And instead of everything being consistent for all members of MPR, they are assessing a rating process. They assess the risk that each member now brings to the pool, and then the coverage is directly related to the contributions that they charge us. And so effective with the next fiscal year, our liability for law enforcement, the deductible will go from $1,000 to $5,000, and our public official employment practices liability policy, the deductible will go from $1,000 to $50,000, and that's per occurrence. And that's all I have tonight.
Thank you. Mr. Gold.
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Ms. Deal.
You asked me if I have something?
Yeah, I always want to hear from you.
I don't have anything.
We'll now have the report of claims committee.
The Committee on Claims filed a report in the amount of $1,153,136.25.
I move that we approve the March 25th claims report as presented.
A second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the claims. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carried. Now move on to old business.
Derek, can you roll down?
Oh, did I not? Shoot. Yep, there's the green button. All right, there we go.
The second reading of Council Bill 2509, an ordinance to amend Chapter 10, Article 1, Section 10-4 of the Carthage City Code to add Lunar New Year as an exception to Section 10-3.
Any discussion? Cast your votes. Council Bill 2509 stands approved.
The second reading of Council Bill 2510, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with Lightspeed Point of Sale for the Carthage Golf Course in the city of Carthage, Missouri.
Any discussion? Cast your votes. Council Bill 2510 stands approved.
Council Bill second reading of Council Bill 2511, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Carthage Youth Softball League for non-exclusive use of the softball fields at the Fair Acres Sports Complex during the summer of 2025 in the city of Carthage, Missouri.
Any discussion? Cast your votes. Council Bill 2511 stands adopted.
The second reading of Council Bill 2512, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Carthage Little League for non-exclusive use of the baseball fields at the Fair Acres Sports Complex during the summer of 2025 in the city of Carthage, Missouri.
Any discussion?
Yes, I'd like it to be noted that in the meeting minutes last time, it was not noted that ages 13 through 16 were not addressed in this Little League, and that next year, I want record that it should be addressed in one way or another with the Parks and Rec or the Y to cover those age groups. I will vote yes this time, but next year, I would hold off on a yes vote unless those children are handled to be able to play baseball with a group at the city park.
Any further discussion?
Did I not hear? I thought I heard that they did not have enough.
They
willing
were
to
not allowed to
participate.
register. There was no registration done for those age groups.
Okay.
Any further discussion? Cast your votes. Council Bill 2512 stands adopted.
The second reading of Council Bill 2513, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Fair Acres YMCA for non-exclusive use of the fields at the Fair Acres Sports Complex for the YMCA's spring sports program in the city of Carthage, Missouri.
Any discussion? Cast your votes. Council Bill 2513 stands adopted.
The second reading of Council Bill 2514, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement between the city of Carthage, Missouri and Total Electronics Contracting Incorporated for installing door access controls for security at the Public Works and Street Department buildings.
Any discussion? Cast your votes. Council Bill 2514 stands adopted.
The first reading of Council Bill 2518, an emergency ordinance amending Section 2-160, subsection B of the Carthage City Code.
Any discussion?
Could we read that one to the public, please, in full? So they know what we're doing.
Okay, so the change in the section was to add this section I'm about to read. So it states in here, a termination payment equal to 1/2 a month's salary will be allowed, and this was added, unless the city negotiated a termination payment with the city administrator at the time of employment, in which case the negotiated termination payment will be allowed. That was the added part, and the rest of it reads, plus any other benefits that may have accrued.
So I make a motion to move that to second reading.
A second.
Got a motion and a second to move Council Bill 2518 to second reading. Any discussion?
And this was based on a template from Matt Gist, who is in Human Relations or HR Employment. So it's not something that we had just come up with to satisfy needs of the time. It's to make this more in line with all contracts. So.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carried.
The second reading of Council Bill 2518, an emergency ordinance amending section 2-160 subsection B of the Carthage City Code.
Any discussion? Cast your votes. Council Bill 2518 stands adopted.
And the second reading of Council Bill 2515, an ordinance authorizing the City of Carthage to enter into an agreement with Tracy Cox for the purpose of employing her as City Administrator for the City of Carthage, authorizing the mayor to execute said agreement by and on behalf of the City of Carthage, Missouri.
Any discussion?
I'd like to make a motion to amend the language in the duties under A and C as included in the packet. Item A should read, "The city administrator shall assist the mayor and city council in the conduct of city business." Item C should read, "The city administrator shall plan, direct, manage, coordinate, and oversee through the appointed department heads the administration of municipal operations under the supervision of the mayor."
Second.
Got a motion and a second to amend sections A and C of the contract. Miranda, Janet can get you that language, or do you have the language?
I'll get the language. I have it.
Okay.
I can hand you this.
Any discussion? Yes, Ms. Scott.
I just want to point out that item A was changed to reflect what is stated in the charter, and item C was changed to reflect what is stated in the job description.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay. So the second reading, I guess,
As amended.
okay, second reading as amended of Council Bill 2515, an ordinance authorizing the City of Carthage to enter into an agreement with Tracy Cox for the purpose of employing her as City Administrator for the City of Carthage, authorizing the mayor to execute said agreement by and on behalf of the City of Carthage, Missouri.
Any further discussion? Cast your votes. Council Bill 2515 stands adopted.
Wait.
Congratulations, Ms. Cox. Oh, true. We do still have to get to appointments.
Yes.
Yes, Ms.
I'd like to make a motion to confirm allowing Ms. Cox to live within 5 miles of the city limits as stated in the contract. This is for transparency. We believe 5 miles is adequate outside the city limits to live. It does not put anyone that would be in that position in another major city or suburb, which is important to us that they are close to Carthage.
I'll second.
So I've got a motion and a second to allow Ms. Cox to live within 5 miles of the city of Carthage. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
The second reading of Council Bill 2516, an ordinance to amend section 2-316 of chapter 2, article 4, division 2 of the code of the City of Carthage, Missouri.
Any discussion?
Can we briefly refresh on that?
Yes.
I believe this was the one to change the terms of the CWEP board members.
It changes the term of the CWEP board members from 4 years to 6 years. By extending the board terms, the board members will have more time to develop a deep understanding of the utility operations, and they will have a better understanding of the financial management and regulatory requirements. So
Thank you.
that was why there was a request to extend the term.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Cast your votes. Council Bill 2516 fails.
What was the other? I didn't see who else didn't vote for that. Can you go back?
I don't know. Don't know if it shows up in yours. Yeah, sorry, I have to zoom out on that. It was Taylor and West.
Thank you.
The second reading of Council Bill 2517, an ordinance to amend Section 2-328 of Chapter 2, Article 4, Division 2 of the Code of the City of Carthage, Missouri.
Any discussion?
Could you refresh us on this one?
So
Please.
the current code states that the financial reports need to be on paper. And all this ordinance does is, update the filing requirements for financial statements. It's computer generated, and we don't want them to have to write things out on a piece of paper or anything like that.
Any discussion? Cast your votes. Council Bill 2517 passes. Now move on to new business.
The first reading of Council Bill 2519, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with Banner Fire Equipment Incorporated for the purchase of one E1 Typhoon HP 75 ladder fire apparatus.
Wow, one E1 Typhoon, that sounds pretty big. Any discussion?
The first reading of Council Bill 2520, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with the Walker Collaborative Team to prepare the Historic District Design Guidelines for the City of Carthage, Missouri.
Any discussion? Move on to mayor's appointments.
The mayor's appointment of Tracy Cox as city administrator.
I make a motion that we approve the employment of Tracy Cox as city administrator.
I second.
Got a motion and a second to approve Tracy Cox as city administrator. Any discussion? There's no discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Oppose? Motion carried. Now, congratulations, Ms. Closing comments, Mr. Taylor.
I would just like to congratulate Ms. Cox and welcome her to the permanent position as city administrator. I think she'll do an awesome job, and anything that I can do personally to help her, all she has to do is ask. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Peterson.
Yeah, I just wanted to make one quick comment. I just wanted to applaud Ms. Schramm for requesting this week that in the interest of transparency, we include our claims report in the minutes so that the public can see those disbursements on behalf of the city. Something that I think is important, transparency, and I appreciate you doing that, Ms. Schramm. That's all.
Thank you. Mr. West.
Nothing further tonight, thank you.
Ms. Heckmaster.
Congratulations, Tracy. Well deserved. I would just like to make a comment that I am disappointed that we could not move forward with the 6-year term for CWNEP board members. One of the things that I learned early on was that, and Steve Beimdick shared this with me, may God bless him, his soul, that it takes at least 2 years for a board member to really understand the workings, regardless of how good The process is there to learn the ins and the outs. They're making decisions for power that can be 30 years out. And I think it is very disappointing that we would not give them a 2-year learning period and a 4-year period to actually know that decisions are soundly made. That's all, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Barlow?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's it, sir.
Ms. Schramm?
Congratulations, Ms. Cox. It's a long time coming, and you really deserve it. So congratulations. You'll do a fantastic job, as you have been. And I want to also be with Terry on this, on the Council Bill 2516. We've worked on this about a year, and it was very solid, and it ensures that the citizens of Carthage are taken care of by the board at CWEP. There was a big debacle in June of '23 that we thought that maybe this would be cleared up, and because of the voting of our council, you have failed the citizens once again. So I'm very ashamed of that for you. Thank you.
I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I second. Let's adjourn. Oh, wait, do we have closed session?
No closed session.
Okay.
I'll need a motion. Did you make the motion to
Yes,
adjourn?
I make a
Okay, I have a
motion to
motion and a
adjourn.
second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We stand adjourned.